Good afternoon, I'm Karen Holmes Ward. Coming up, a holiday feast, a stage reenactment of some beloved Black sitcoms. But first, Boston is lending a hand to some new and established entrepreneurs. The city has issued its third and final round of SPACE grants. That stands for Supporting Pandemic-Affected Community Enterprises. The program made possible with funds from the American Rescue Plan Act. And Mayor Michelle Wu explained the benefits to the community at an event last year.
These are businesses that many of us know and love and have come to trust, who will be expanding to fill currently vacant storefronts. And there are others that we are excited to see use these funds to open their doors for the very first time.
The $10.2 million in grants have helped nearly 100 businesses with expenses related to new lease agreements, leading to the creation of more than 600 jobs. And joining us now is Segun Idowu. He's the Chief of Economic Opportunity and Inclusion for the City of Boston, and Marcia Satchel of the Blue Mountain Jamaican Restaurant. Thank you both for being here. Wow, Marcia, I'm going to start with you. Okay. Blue Mountain Jamaican Restaurant reopened last month in a new location.
Yes.
Tell us about your new place and how the SPACE grant helped you get started.
Okay, so Blue Mountain aims to bring our culture from Jamaica and the Caribbean to the Mattapan community. And the SPACE grant, third round, is going to boost a much needed support.
Where did the money go for?
The money is going to help with offset some of our rental costs and other costs associated with restarting at our new location.
Payroll, decor.
Well, the SPACE grant is really not for payroll.
Okay.
So,
yeah,
but
let's get it clear.
Yeah. Okay. But it's for it helps with startup costs of rebuilding out the location. And again, as we reopen, this is going to be a vital part of helping us to grow at this new location.
Okay, congratulations, Chief.
Thank you.
You know, how do you choose the businesses that receive the grants, and what made Marcia's application a standout?
Well, there are a number of different factors, but first I want to say thank you for having me back to talk about this. Mayor Wu has been committed since starting the administration to supporting all of our businesses, particularly those owned by women and people of color, and in particular in neighborhoods that need a lot more of our vibrant businesses, which is why we were so happy to support Marcia. Number of different factors and just one of 5 different programs we've launched to help support small businesses, things like their business plan, the vibrancy they'll bring to a community, et cetera. But, you know, Marcia has had the support of the community, and we were happy to add to that support.
So this was the third and final round of funding, and it supported lots of various kinds of businesses. We talked about restaurants, but also a neighborhood laundry, a salon fitness space, and also daycares. Talk about some of the funding success stories, if you would.
Well, you know, the SPACE program was developed a couple of years ago after the mayor got a call from Anthony Caldwell of 50 Kitchen in Fields Corner, a beloved restaurant. And it was created because he made a comment to the mayor that, you know, if I could have been in a place like downtown or Seaport or Back Bay, where we don't find many people of color in these areas, I would have loved to have been there. And this program was developed to help create opportunities for people of color, for women to be in spaces that we've never been in before. So I think of Bold Skin Babe, a young woman who has started this company, esthetician, that now has a space in our downtown, actually 2 doors down from our small business office, bringing a lot of foot traffic to the area. I think of, there's a tea business, there's Flourish and Foundry, et cetera. All these businesses that are popping up across our downtown, across the Back Bay, in Mattapan and Roxbury, again, that are bringing foot traffic to our areas and helping to stimulate our economy.
Wow, I like that, stimulating the economy. Marcia, beyond the funding, what supports from the city are going to be most important to you in terms of helping you move your business forward?
So for sure, the SPACE grant, as we noted, is a major boost, not just to me, but to all of the recipients who have received the SPACE grant from the first round to the third round. We were closed for several months as we prepared our new space, and with the SPACE grant, it really is like a lifeline to us. And so we are definitely appreciative to the mayor and her staff for putting together a really thought through project with the space grant to support small businesses.
Chief, can you give us any breakdown about the breakdown of grants that were awarded to entrepreneurs of color and/or women?
Sure. So we're, when the mayor first came in, our department used to be called the Office of Economic Development, and it was changed to the Office of Economic Opportunity and Inclusion because the mayor understood that some communities cannot be developed with the underdevelopment of others. And so that Back Bay will never reach its full potential if Mattapan does not reach its full potential. So that being said, equity, and in particular racial equity, has been the through line in all the programs we've done. To date, the Office of Economic Opportunity and Inclusion has launched about 5 different programs to support small businesses financially. Roughly $30 million that we have extended to small businesses, and about 70% of those dollars have gone to businesses owned by people of color. The SPACE program in particular, 75% of those dollars and the businesses awarded are owned by people of color, 65% owned by women, 20% owned by those self-identifying as immigrants to the country. So, when we prioritize equity, we are making sure that the dollars coming to and through government are going to the communities that need it the most.
So let's talk about that, the ripple effect in communities. How will having her establishment in Mattapan help develop the entire neighborhood?
Well, so, I lived in Mattapan for a long time. My mother still has a home there. So a little selfish of me here as well, but I'll just say that Mattapan for a long time has needed more food establishments. There are many people who grew up in Mattapan for many decades that remember what Mattapan Square in particular used to be like and what it is today. And so our job as facilitators of economic development, of vitality through our neighborhoods, are focused on how we bring that back. One of the ways that we do that is by supporting folks like Marcia, Blue Mountain, and so many of the other restaurants in the area to bring the foot traffic back and to bring families back, to make people want to live in that neighborhood, to invest in that neighborhood, and to bring it back to what it used to be.
So, Chief, the American Rescue Plan Act money is gone.
Yes, it is.
What's the plan for helping small businesses like Marcia's going forward?
Well, so first I want to thank President Biden and Vice President Harris and the Democratic Congress that actually helped to create the American Rescue Plan Act. What we are doing now is working with other colleagues in city government to identify sustainable sources to boost this program. We were grateful to Congresswoman Presley, who called this a national model. We'll certainly be looking forward to trying to work with the new administration to make this a national program and to get national funding. But here at home, we're talking with different foundations and others to support this program.
All right, Marcia,
Yes.
I'm so excited to see your space. Tell me what you like most about your old space in Morton Village and where you are now.
Okay, so when we were on Morton Street, it was a really great location, but it was located on a busy interstate highway.
It's
which is
hard to
Morton
turn
Street.
off of that street.
Yeah, and so a lot of people who wanted to support us
Yeah.
would say, "Oh, I don't have anywhere to park," and the traffic would just
It's
go
hard
so
to get
fast.
in and out of there.
However, not too far away from there is our new location, and it's different. It's so different in terms of the community on that side. Everyone supports us, by the way, but the foot traffic. We are on a main street, of course, which is Blue Hill Avenue, so easier access. Our restaurant is right there at the bus stop.
Well, I can see the light in your eyes and the sparkle and the smile on your face, so congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Shagun Iduwu, Chief of Economic Opportunity, and Marcia Satchel of the Blue Mountain Jamaican Restaurant. Thank you both for
Thank you.
joining us today.